Heidi should be on the phone from Nyakog, so
I guess we'll do the 9:30 on time. 9 o'clock is already.
I'm gonna see if she's emailed me, because she said she was gonna get on at like 9:20, so hopefully.
We're waiting. We've only accomplished 1, 2, and 3. Not really.
Hello, this is Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep,
Okay,
we're all here.
all right, well, thank you for not making me drive to Forest City today.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
Well, it's been worse, but it was not great. So, anyway, what I'm needing today or wanting to discuss with you is the possibility of Nyakog taking over Winnebago County's State Housing Trust Fund and administering the money for the county. With Homeward Incorporated, getting out of the State Housing Trust Fund, it just kind of leaves your county abandoned and not, there isn't anyone. And IFA doesn't like standalone counties. And being that we're already a presence in Winnebago County with our housing repair program through the Federal Home Loan Bank, to us it makes sense, incorporating all those other counties in our region into our State Housing Trust Fund. With our home repair program through Federal Home Loan Bank, we do home repairs, siding, windows, electrical, furnaces, plumbing, just about anything. The projects, the minimum limit is $15,000, and typically the projects average around $24,000 to $26,000. And the State Housing Trust Fund dollars kind of fill a gap for us, below that $15,000. So there's a lot of times, we'll have a household, and their project will only amount to $11,000, and we are not able to do that work because we don't have any funding source. So, we're kind of excited at the possibility of being able to have, that funding to cover all the counties so we don't have to turn people away or make referrals to other agencies. I know last year we did 3 projects in Winnebago County, and they were actually all 3 in Rake, and it was about $58,000 worth of home repairs that we had done. And right now we're processing 2 in Forest City right now, and I think a third one in Rake. So, we do have a presence there, and so we're just kind of requesting, your approval to allow us to incorporate Winnebago County into our State Housing Trust Fund.
How would Heidi, how would that agreement look, functionally? And, you guys meet once a year on an annual meeting, or do you have more meetings than that, or? For our housing trust fund, we have a board, and right now we only have representation on Floyd and Cerro Gordo County because those are the only 2 counties. But I would envision eventually, once terms are up, we will start getting, representation from all the other counties on our board to, give those counties a voice. And the one thing, though, that we are asking for, and I know that we've missed your budget for 2023, but we're funded on the calendar year, not on your fiscal year. So I don't know if you had budgeted any money for Homeward, but we are asking. Homeward was requiring a $5,000 administrative fee, and we're just asking for $2,000. The additional funds that we would receive from the other counties gave us a $14,000 gap in our match, and so I just distributed it amongst the other 6 counties, based on loosely based on population. I mean, I didn't do it like a per capita. I just, looked at the sizes of the counties, and Winnebago County is one of the counties that we were gonna just ask for 2,000, where Floyd and Cassuth, we were asking for 3, and then that covers our gap.
Okay. Well,
So you just feel like it gives us more coverage then, or?
well, we've had good coverage before
Right.
in our former
Yep.
group. And when it was chosen by the energy co-ops to do away with it, then now we're at a point where we either go on our own or we go with a group. And I guess my personal feeling was this was the first place I was going to look.
Yeah, yeah, it just makes, it's a good fit, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I agree. I just didn't know how your operation was working over there, and I just wanted to make sure I knew that part of it.
Yeah, we're under a board, and like I said, eventually we will get representation from maybe not every county, because I think our board is only 7 members and there's 8 counties, but I think that would probably could be rotated or, looked at expanding. I'm just not sure. I did email a resolution and talked to Iowa Finance Authority, and that's all it requires is a resolution from the supervisors, accepting the merger, and then my board has already approved it, and then I just need to send a letter down to Iowa Finance Authority, and then they take care of the rest of the paperwork.
Yeah, our last board was very, very large. It was 2 representatives from each county, usually an economic development person and a county supervisor from each county, and I think there was also some bankers and stuff on that. So we had a pretty good sized group. We only met once a year.
Yeah, we meet monthly. Or no, I'm sorry, we meet quarterly.
Yeah.
And our next meeting is in March, so I plan on asking, them what their feelings are and, how, to expand. And, if we need to add members, we will. I mean, I don't have any problem having representation from each county. I think I do a pretty good job advocating for the counties, but it certainly doesn't hurt having someone from the county knowing what's going on and helping us, get referrals from that county.
Yeah, I think that would just be the main concern that I would have, is that we have the representation,
Sure.
And I have a feeling it looks like we're all interested in approving this, aren't we?
I think so. What's your thoughts, Bill?
You're so good at it.
With that,
Yeah, it seems to be a logical change.
well, I'll move on to number 10 then, and I will make a motion to approve the resolution for acceptance of merger of Winnebago County into the Iowa Finance Authority certification of Nyakog Housing Trust Fund as a funded housing trust fund.
I'll second it.
All right, on a motion by Derby and seconded by Jensfold to consider this approval, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passed, and I have it here, Heidi, that I will sign and give to Carla.
Okay, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
All right, yep.
I would assume it
Okay.
needs to be stamped also.
Okay, bye.
It's the,
Just, yeah, it's a signature line.
Heidi Nielsen.
Has left.
Does this one, does the minutes ever get stamped or just signed?
We all three got a copy of it.
Okay, then we got one signed.
That's never happened.
Yeah, I don't
Didn't
know.
get sent
Why
out,
she-
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Oh,
or it was changed.
No.
I thought it was sent, maybe there was
Maybe.
correction or something.
I don't know, I made a
Because-
correction from what she sent you. She put AM on the meeting instead of, at the end, instead of PM.
We need a motion on that?
We already did that.
We did. Oh, there it is.
Now where are we going?
I don't need that. That's just for you.
This is for me.
Yes.
All right, are we going back to the, number 4? 9 AM, public hearing for max levy.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second it.
On a motion by Derby, seconded by Jensel to open the public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Number 5, consider for approval max levy resolution.
We gotta talk about it first and close the public hearing.
Okay. Don't want to just talk about it, huh?
Is there anybody on the phone that wants to comment
Do you
on
have
it?
any questions, sir?
What's the tax rate you're increasing for the general public?
It's actually not increasing.
It's going down.
Well, the levy will go down. Slightly.
Depends on which one you're looking at.
Yeah, one of them went up a little, and the other one went down a little. Can't remember, the overall tax valuations were up some. So whether the actual taxes changed by much, the actual money. I don't know where that went down.
Ag valuations went down. Seems to make sense, doesn't it?
Would to me, yeah, why not? Just wanna make sure the world knows.
Big responsibility.
I talk with 5,000 to 7,000 on a given game night across the country, so it's always wise to just say what the figures are, and that way everybody knows. And you're not sitting there with sticker shock or sticker excitement.
Anyone on the,
No one on the phone apparently.
no one on the phone?
We didn't have any written responses, did we? Submitted? Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing for the max levy.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jensel, seconded by Derby to close the public hearing for the max levy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
All right, here's the whole mess of it.
You have to be stamped.
Oh, no, thank you.
So we all, it's a roll call vote, so we all have to sign this.
Yeah, actually, you could stamp the one with the,
The last one.
yeah, that would be great.
Back in business, Terry.
Trigger happy. Wanted that 2222.
Somebody call the risk doctor.
He's pretty aggressive with that thing.
I was gonna say that.
I just kind of pushed it down quietly, and Terry, like, he's kind of authoritarian.
Oh, that's with this hand. The other hand, not so much.
Yeah,
Her predecessor, you could hear him pounding away all the way down the hallway.
good.
The audio skips were just hilarious. Somebody else in this room made that kind of noise, but with a different means.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the max levy resolution.
I'll second it.
Those are my submissions.
I was gonna say.
Motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby, to approve the max levy resolution. All in favor, say aye.
It calls a roll call vote.
Oh, this is a roll call.
A roll call vote.
Derby?
Aye.
Jensvold?
Aye.
Smith?
Aye.
So we all gotta sign that where it says aye then? All right,
I can write it in there.
you just write it, all right.
You don't want to act up your carpal tunnel though.
Let's go. Without surgery.
All right. Number 6, public hearing for LSA Winnebago County Supervisor redistricting report. Plan 1 and for first reading of ordinance number 43. You need to open that public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for LSA's Winnebago County Supervisor Redistricting Report Plan 1. And for the first reading of ordinance 43.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to open the public hearing. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion passed. Public hearing.
So do you have any questions on our redistricting?
Outside of the fact that we've never received a map,
Yeah. Is it, I think it's been
Map?
updated.
I would love a map. Would you
Well,
give me a
would you
map?
like to stop in my office and take a picture of the map? Because there's really not a very good way to send you a map.
So,
You know, I think I'm gonna stop
so
in your office and take a
I
picture.
think-
That way I've got the map.
I think
That would be
they,
lovely.
I
Okay.
think they've updated it on the website, haven't they?
On Beacon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Beacon
I
just
did,
got
I did
updated.
click on it the other day to see if somebody was in my district or not. It was farther east.
I think so. You can-
I'll
you're
stop by
welcome.
your office and
Yes.
take a picture, because it's
Yes.
hell to cut and paste. Those,
Do we need a,
Big
do
difference.
we need a motion then that you're gonna go take a picture of that?
I don't know, you go ahead, take them, go for a motion, Susan, I'm all game. I
I
know
just
that
want
Bill
to be
will totally
part of the
object.
party. I just want to be part of the party.
Bill likes pictures.
Don't give me anything in writing.
All right, so public hearing, any discussion, redistricting? It
I'm
was
just glad-
updated, I went and looked.
I'm just glad that LSA did not mess with ours compared to other counties. It sounded like Franklin and Bremer, that Highway 3 corridor, they messed with them and tried to restructure things in a very bad way.
Are they protesting it?
They did,
Yeah.
but I don't know where they got it with it. They were trying to create urban districts.
Maybe they want rural dollars in urban areas, you think?
Well, my opinion, but I think the LSA is managed by a bunch of bureaucratic, lifetimers that live in a big city.
That's a good way.
I've never thought about that before.
Do we need to read that ordinance then, or?
Yeah, you should.
Put your glasses on, Terry.
Well, I'll hand it to you then. I don't have them.
You don't have your glasses.
That's why you make the big bucks.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
So you only need to read the actual
Because we're
ordinance.
gonna waive the 2 and 3.
Yeah, so the actual ordinance just starts here.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, you can
Just
just go
this?
to here. So this whole page.
All right. Winnebago County redistricting ordinance number 43, be it enacted by the Board of Supervisors of Winnebago, Iowa. Section 1 purpose, the purpose of this ordinance is to approve Board of Supervisor districts drawn in accordance with Chapter 331.210A for Supervisor District Plan 3 as described in Chapter 331.206, Section 2. Boundaries of supervisor districts. Winnebago County shall have 3 supervisor districts whose boundaries shall be as follows. Supervisor District Number 1 shall consist of the following precincts: Winnebago 1-1, Winnebago 1-2, Winnebago 1-3, Winnebago 1-4. Supervisor District 2, District 2 shall consist of the following precincts: Winnebago 2-1, Winnebago 2-2, Winnebago 2-3. Supervisor District 3, District 3 shall consist of the following precincts: Winnebago 3-1, Winnebago 3-2, Winnebago 3-3. Section 3, Statement of Population of each district. Winnebago District 1 population is 3,558. Winnebago District 2 population is 3,569. Winnebago 3 population is 3,552. Section 4, effective date. This ordinance shall become effective after its passage and publication by law. Passed and approved this 22nd day of February 2022. So we have the first reading of ordinance number 43.
Got it, okay.
Pardon?
Just showing up the map.
Oh,
We just put it on the radio.
Let
Not
the-
a big problem.
Let the records reflect the display of the map.
so do we, no discussion, do we close the public hearing, or do we,
Yeah, we have to
Consider-
have a public hearing before we take any action. I'll make a motion to, you didn't have any comments, did you?
I was just wondering why they didn't level them out a little bit better than what they did, but, you know, they got it awfully close, so that's good enough. I guess it's Bill, you're in 2?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Bill's
no, I'm
3.
2.
You 2?
Or no,
He had the
I'm
least,
sorry.
he
No,
had
I
the
didn't.
least amount. He had,
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's,
I had the second least, and she had the most. But it's well within the percentages there that are allowable.
You knew how hard it was to get it that close?
That's pretty good,
okay,
I
I'm
thought.
sorry, I didn't mean to piss you off, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm groveling on my knees, can you tell?
So hearing all the,
Like a little dictator.
It's very hard to get it.
there wasn't anybody on the phone that had any comments on the redistricting plan? Now that we've heard all the comments on the redistricting plan, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
A motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to close the public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
I will also, so do we approve the reading or
Do number 7.
just go on to 7?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, consider waiving number 2 and 3 reading of ordinance number 43.
Motion to waive the reading of
Second and third.
second and third reading of the ordinance.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to waive the second and third reading of ordinance number 43. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passed. Consider passing ordinance number 43.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 43.
I'll second it.
A motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to pass ordinance number 43. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. So you just need to, are you gonna date all of this, Carla, and you just
Yeah,
need a
I can
signature?
fill it in just as long as you sign it. That would be great.
You know how it is, where you have to sign it, and then we'll find out what she fills in later.
Just call me Nancy.
Somebody's gonna get slow.
We're under stress here when we're behind.
Okay.
Okay, you missed one
Oh, shoot.
up at the top.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So now we can jump down to 11 with discussion about COVID-19 policy.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Doing okay.
Way behind, Julie.
That's all right. We have surveyors here, so I'm
Oh, okay.
just been kind of listening and trying to jump in when I can.
All right, thank you. Any conversation for us?
No,
How do you
I
feel
have-
about letting the COVID policy go?
that's whatever you guys decide. It's just we still have to in our department follow the CDC. With if my nurses are sick, they still have to be off 10 days. So that's up to you guys. So,
What do you think, gentlemen?
Where's your vacation at?
She was just at Bruce.
what do you mean?
Where's your
What'd
vacation
you say?
at? Like, are people still, like?
No, they're taking their vacations, and we're good with that.
Okay. Let it go, let it go.
No, I'm,
We have a motion.
is that part of our,
It's an actionable
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Number 11.
I would make a motion to let our COVID policies expire.
I'll second it.
A motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to let the COVID policies expire. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passed. And Julie, you still have responsibilities in that area though, so
Correct, yep.
Well, you just have to let us know if,
Okay. I will do that if it gets to the point that, it's in cause I know some don't have 10 days built up already, but I can let you know how that goes.
okay,
All right?
thank you.
anything
All
else?
right, thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Scott,
7530.
hey Scott, we're ready for you. Thank you.
To fill a little time before Scott gets here, I'd like to go to open forum. Just to clarify something from last Thursday's meeting, we did not, how was it reported? I heard the report on the radio Friday afternoon that we passed the resolution to make it an essential service. We did not. We just set hearings. So there's got to be a little clarification there that we just set hearings for making it an essential service. And if we go back to the timeline, I can provide the timeline that we had. I should probably draw a line where we're at in the timeline. We're just below number 1. That's all the farther we've gone.
And we have had one meeting about it and there are,
One forum. Yeah, but that was actually a board meeting too, and
that's true.
the next one will just be a forum, won't it?
I would assume that it would just be a informational
Informational
gathering.
forum.
Yep. So we went to open forum for just a bit, Scott.
Okay.
So we got that clarified. Thanks, Terry. Anything else
Pretty good.
for open forum?
We'll go back to it.
We'll go back to it?
We'll fix it through.
Okay.
We'll get it straightened out. That was a rough draft, and it occasionally happens where the computer.
We're at least 3 months from doing that.
Right. Don't worry about it, we'll get it fixed.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Scott.
We're a little behind.
Actually, we're right in line with him. He's not timed.
Let's see, I got 5-year program discussion, but I also got my normal slot, I suppose.
Your normal slot is first.
Yep, okay.
Who's next?
I don't have too much to report. Of course, we're out this morning, trying to manage the ice and snow. A lot of people probably realized it got real slick last night at like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something like that, and maybe worth mentioning that Winnebago County has a snow ordinance similar to any other county that dictates when we go out and what level of surface that we're looking for. And our hours are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for snow and ice control, and so that kind of fell outside of that range. So, we had slippery conditions from whatever it was, 5 or 6 o'clock last night till this morning when we got out there. And I wish there was more we could do about it, but unfortunately, inside the ordinance, we don't have any
It's
options.
hard to do too much when it's currently happening, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you see there's some differences between the county and the state. They'll do a little bit more pre-treatment. They'll put brine on the bridges and intersections, but, they're able to stick on the roads around the clock, so they aren't often in a situation where they get behind as easily as the county, I would say. If we treated the day before, sometimes that helps, sometimes that hurts us because salt can make blowing snow and ice stick to the road worse. So we're kind of playing the long game on this one, as we always do, hoping that the cold weather will kind of freeze dry them with the wind. And, maybe by tomorrow, they're starting to look a little better. We had trucks and graders all out on blacktops this morning, scraping, trying to get them as thin as possible. I think that's going to set us up for, clear pavements sooner. So, and unfortunately, we can't do anything about those late night slippery roads. And I know we had a couple accidents last night too, which is scary.
Yeah, it's creates for slick conditions, but it's Iowa, and you just have to adjust your driving. It's usually what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget to adjust your driving.
Yeah. There must have been a, 15-minute window last night when it went from wet to, oh crap.
That was exactly at 6 o'clock when I was on the,
I was fortunate enough
Highway
to put
9.
the chicken grit down on the sidewalk right before the rain. Boy, that was nice.
Yeah.
Just stuck.
Well, I talked to one of our deputies last night. He came from Lake Mills during that time. I saw him at the grocery store. And, it took an hour and 15 minutes. And he did most of it. He decided to drive on gravel because it was much less slippery.
That's all I have for that.
I didn't have any questions.
No.
I have a question just because I took gravels this morning.
Mhm.
So when you put these big concrete culverts in, the big ones, and the dirt like slopes away from it, you have this big exposed concrete. I mean, as I was driving on these slippery roads, I mean, it was gravel.
Mhm.
You kind of go, is that normal that this big chunk of concrete is exposed? Why is there no land?
You're afraid of going in the ditch again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
snowmobiles and I don't know, stuff. I'm just asking.
Yeah. So we have dozens of culverts without tapered ends, we'll call it. They're just squared ends.
Mhm.
And there's some pros and cons to doing it that way as opposed to the other. I prefer to do it the other way. And so the two we did last year had tapered ends. And so they blend a lot better with the floor slope of the road. I prefer to do it that way, but you're balancing a little bit of constructability and, when you get all the same piece, like if you were to fix a puzzle, right? If they were all exactly the same and all you had to do is hook them together, it's pretty easy. There's a lot less room for errors with trucking and crane and all that kind of thing. When you get the tapered ends, then you have maybe 4 or 5 different kinds of pieces, and so the truck's got to come up and they got to show up in order because we crane them right from the truck to the ground. And then you also end up with sometimes where the last piece is the heaviest piece because it's kind of sometimes 45 degrees skewed to the road, so the crane's got to reach even further, so sometimes you need a bigger crane. Details like that. I think it's a cost wash. The culverts need to be longer when you put the tapers on them, but the barrels are kind of standard, so I've estimated in both ways. I think it's kind of a wash. So
Okay.
I think it was a preference from the people before me to do it the square way, and I like to do it the tapered way, so I don't anticipate we'll put them in with square ends going forward. Unless we find that it's just too many variables in the delivery to, be efficient.
I've also looked at those reports, thought it would be a pretty abrupt stop if you was to have.
I don't like the looks of them. I think they look dangerous and
Yeah.
just,
I just try not to go in those areas.
well, yeah, that'd be best.
Yeah, but there are probably
But then,
40 or 50 of them out there.
yeah,
No, there's a bunch of them, because they, on fertilizer in the spring, and I'll be standing, I'll walk over and inspect, walk down in, look
Yeah.
inside it, stand on top of it and all that, and then you look at that and you're like, no, hopefully I don't run
I was just curious of why the usage, and then you see there's like fiber, that must be to cover silt and,
Oh, the wrap around
the
the
wrap.
joints
into. Yes.
That
looks kind of tacky when
looks
it's
really
not there.
tacky.
Yeah.
It just, I know it's about function,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
still.
After the fact, you could go cut those off and it wouldn't make any difference because they're just trying to keep the dirt from going through the cracks.
Yeah.
So it's not
Till
buried.
it settles.
It's not serving any purpose.
I imagine they would deteriorate faster when they're not underground.
The fabric, I don't know. I mean, some of the old ones I've seen, they're tough
They're-
still.
Sometimes it's flapping in the wind. It kind of looks,
Yeah, if you see one and get there, just cut one off. Nothing hurt there,
okay.
I guess.
I just assumed it was the cheapest way to do it. You get a special cut done, and it seemed like a piece of more expensive than just a squared off end.
Yeah, they definitely are. When you have the taper, you have fewer barrel sections. So, yeah, I think the cost is about a wash.
Kind of affects your width of your road ability and ditch ability too.
Yeah, with the square ends, they kind of did some, I don't know, creative shaping with the excavator and some riprap to make it stand upright. The tapers, I think, they just kind of tells them exactly what to do. They're just blending this slope to this slope, and you can look at the 2 we did last year, and they look nice.
Yeah.
And if you're driving over the road, you almost don't even notice them.
Yeah, I like the looks of those much better.
Yeah, I do too.
I just didn't know if it was more erosion, less erosion.
I'd say preference of the people in charge, and
Well, the good news is, what you say,
not that I know of.
knock out the wood.
I mean,
Yeah.
that and plenty of other hazards out there to hit, but
Oh, yeah.
definitely wouldn't want to hit one.
All right.
Mhm.
Anything else on regular road matters? Number 13?
This is, a 5-year program. So when the county approves their budget, typically secondary roads department also approves their secondary road budget and 5-year program. So this is a discussion time to see if what I've proposed is, has anything that you guys disagree with or would like to see changed. It's kind of a lot to go through. So I've sent some information out to you. And this kind of give you some definitions. The 5-year construction program is for construction projects, which is bridge replacements and asphalt overlays of roads that it's 2 inches or more. And some of the bridges that are 20 feet or shorter fall under maintenance. Things like chip seals, microsurfacing, very thin lift overlays, those will fall under maintenance. And the difference between construction and maintenance is that anything that's construction, we need to program in our 5-year plan. We have to most likely bid it through the Iowa DOT for most of the funding we have available. I shouldn't say all the funding. For farm to market and swap, they need to be bid through the DOT. The projects that are funded locally from our budget, those can be bid locally. So like, you know, the 2 projects this year with the aluminum arch and the concrete that we are bidding the materials, that kind of thing. And then maintenance is something that we can decide on every year in our budget. But I like to have kind of an idea for the next 5 years what our big maintenance projects will be, especially now that we're looking at some maintenance projects in the several $100,000 range, which makes a big impact on the budget. One thing that I tried to cover, and I've tried to do some analysis in the last couple of years, is looking at in 2010 when we paved over 50 miles of road, how that's all going to come due. When we think about asphalt, the rule of thumb is about 20 years. Okay, so in 2030, we don't want to have 50 miles of road all in need of repair all at the same time. So we look at what can we do in the meantime to extend the life of some of those and try to spread those out so that every year we have a manageable number of miles to try and resurface or reconstruct in a way. So last year we talked too about TIF and how that would impact the 5-year plan. And I had a plan that I liked, but it had a lot of TIF money in it, and that didn't end up working out. So the plan that I have leans heavily on local funding for road maintenance. A little bit different strategy than we've had in the last 10 years because we spent local money for construction on bridges and structures. So I have about $1 million on average planned for maintenance projects and some construction from our local budget for the next 5 years, and that's a lot to ask from our budget. That's just really taxing. And so every year we got to look at that hard and see if we can, you know, take more from operations and put it into construction and maintenance. If we follow the plan that I've laid out, I think that gives us a really nice spread out age of our pavement system, so that some are 2 years from being repaired, some are 5, some are 7, some are 10, 15, 20, and so it goes. The end of the 5-year plan I proposed, we have 3 accounts outside of our local budget to think about. Farm to market account, which will be at $1.8 million in the hole. And that sounds terrible, but it is common for counties to save up and borrow against their farm markets account, so that's okay. It's 3 years borrowed ahead, so that's about as much as I'd like to ever go ahead. But
plus the rest of the technical committee looks at that and everybody tries to work with each other.
yeah, it just makes sense because everybody's allocations aren't enough to spend every year. It's just better to save up a couple of years and then drain it down. And another reason this is in the hole is because it spends a lot of farm to market. I mean, we're spending what we have, trying to get our system in good shape. Our swap balance is positive by, I don't know, half a year, and our highway bridge program fund is $75,000. That's not quite a year's worth of funding. So those 2 accounts look pretty good. Basically what it tells us about the farm to market account is that after this 5-year program, the following 2 or 3 years, maybe we won't do a paving project. We'll save it up again and let it grow.
So it, sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
like that, the paving project north of Lake Mills and also the paving project that's Rice Lake, are those are considered maintenance then, or what are they?
north of Lake Mills, the project is considered construction. The reason it's not in the 5-year plan is because it's already in the slate for bidding, and so it would have been last year's. But that one is construction. The Rice Lake one is on the plan here in fiscal year 2026, and that's, I have it written as a 2-inch mill and overlay. So, take a milling machine and take off 2 inches and then put 2 inches back of new asphalt. That could change as we kind of decide what's best to do out there. That one is, I believe the 5-year plan
Under construction.
Under construction.
So was that just within Rice Lake, or did it also go from it also include the road out?
We have, I think we have it fixed now, but before this year, all of the roads in Rice Lake neighborhood weren't on the DOT's kind of inventory. We have all that fixed and populated, and so I have it listed on this sheet, the spreadsheet that I sent you, as 2 different projects. It would probably be just one, to do all of Rice Lake neighborhood and also the road from the main county road to the clubhouse all at once. We'd probably do something a little different on the front, and as opposed to the neighborhood, because they were built different at different times, and probably do a little analysis to see what's out there. And
have we rectified the control of the road?
No, I think we could get the paving done and everything without any objections, but I do have a surveyor kind of working on a scope to look at the right-of-way in the entire neighborhood back there, to just clear up how it shows on Beacon, and the maintenance agreement with the state doesn't make sense to me. And so, I'm hoping to work on that, and if we have, 2026, we have a few years to try and clear that up if we want to have it done before the paving. So, summary, overall, I think we have a strong plan for the next 5 years. It leaves FM balance pretty low, which is, I'd rather it be positive, but it's just part of that account, and all the counties borrowing from each other for it. I think it leaves our pavements in moderate condition and prevents any bridge closures. It does leave us with 10 timber bridges in poor condition with load ratings, or 1-lane postings that didn't fit in here. So we do have some structures that I really would like to see advanced, and hopefully as we get down the road a couple of years, we can do more than we planned. But just can't fit it all in. It's kind of a depressing thing to look at every year once you get everything filled in. It's just you don't have them all. So with that said, I guess I got you construction maps and maintenance maps of all the projects that are in that plan, and I'll take any of your thoughts on if we, have any priorities to adjust. Anybody have any specific projects they want to look through or anything, or talk through?
Well, you touched on the tip. Since then, tip has changed. The availability of tip has changed, so we know that's not going to be a viable option right now. So.
Yeah. one thing we talked to a little bit about was prioritizing bridges. I got a couple bridges on level B roads that are scheduled to replace on here. That's one thing, you know, you could maybe juggle a little bit to try and get higher traveled gravel roads before some of the lower. But, you know, when it comes to harvest, the traffic often looks the same. G17 N1 is one of those, one north of Bransted's up there. We got it listed as a 14 by 14 box. That's bigger than, we haven't put in one of those before. It's pretty big. One might be an opportunity for an aluminum structure if we think it goes well with this year's project, but 280,000 is what I poked in there, and you know, if you push that off, you maybe could get 2 or 3 other bridges pushed up. Just comes with such a price tag.
Is this aluminum one that's scheduled one of your first and only aluminums, or what?
We have 2 that I can think of in the county for aluminum plate structures. There are a couple other steel plate structures that I can think of, at least 2. So, fairly unique.
And they're fairly new?
They were put in 99, I think, the other 2. It wasn't a preference of, Maynard Tweed was here for a couple of years as the engineer, and a couple of different things happened when he was here. I wonder if those weren't part of that. If you want to see them, if you know where Kevin Williams lives, just north of the Three Fingers Campground, as the river crosses there, that's an aluminum box.
That's aluminum?
You know, you can crawl down in there pretty easy. It's not really too big of a creek this time of year. It's a natural creek, so it comes up and down pretty fast, not like a drainage ditch.
So where's one of the steel ones then?
And so there's 2 up by Rake on gravels. Those are huge. I don't know why they're so big, but they're 10-foot radius, so half pipe, so all the way around it's 20 feet wide and 10 foot tall. They're great big pipes, and they probably don't need to be 25% that big. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Maybe they had a sale on them.
Yeah, maybe. Those, you know, steel, you can see some corrosion just like any other steel metal pipes. So, you know, we're hoping with the aluminum that we can get a much better life.
Anything else for Scott, gentlemen?
I think for now, it looks like it's probably in line.
You got anything on that lawsuit? Considering
Yeah, which case are you talking about, Terry? Because there's 4 of them.
Well, there's 4?
There's 4 of them. Which case are you talking about? Which county?
Well, it was, next era is what I understood versus Story County.
Story, next air versus Story. Okay.
Which is
That's
the
the
same
only,
company that's here.
that's the only one I've ever heard about. Where are the other ones?
Evidently, Franklin has something going, Worth has something going, and there's others that have been headlined from 2018 on forward. So
Well,
I was
that's
just
more of
curious.
some of those were more of the stoppage type issues. This is more the change in the tip.
Taxing for repowers.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've had, we've been calling all over the place trying to figure out just exactly which one you're trying to highlight.
I think it's next era suing Story County because they didn't act on what they wanted.
So are we assuming Story County had enough money in their funds that they felt like they could fight it? Must have been.
Guess I won't comment on that.
Yeah.
Since it's probably in the middle of the process.
Litigation. Yeah.
Well, This is just discussion, right?
Yep, so I guess between now and, any idea on budget approval date, target?
Hopefully we'll publish for maybe next week.
We'll set a public hearing next week.
Hopefully.
Through max levy today.
Yeah, okay, so it might put it mid to late March then, something like that. So I guess between now and then, if you see a project that's not in here or see one that is that you don't think should or vice versa, we can talk about it and try and get things firmed up for approval on the same day that we approve the budget.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
7511.
Hey, Chris, do you have time to come over? Thank you. Hello. Hello. I don't have anything. No,
Just a smile and a hello.
that's all I have.
I still have
Goodbye.
I still have somebody concerned about the water level height east of Thompson. DD 1 or 11. No, that's 1.
East of
DD
Thompson.
One is right east.
The one we looked at, it was a kind of a dam under the bridge,
Yeah,
but it didn't seem to go down as much
You
as they
mean
had
the-
hoped.
the bridge on Highway 9.
Yeah.
I was under there. I don't remember seeing anything under there.
Well, they cleaned it out.
Oh, all right.
Their mini excavator, and they cleaned it out. There might be something farther downstream. I don't know.
I see.
When we need the drone,
If
right?
you get over towards the railroad bridge to the south,
Yeah.
the former railroad bridge, it seems like it's higher there, but could be farther north around the corner. I don't know.
And that's the one we cleaned out farther north a few times because of the sloughings.
Yeah, it was a bad year for cleanouts.
Yeah.
It kept sloughing in.
But where you think it might be, or they think it might be, is south?
It's hard to tell this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, that's upstream, and they're saying they're still higher level than it used to be.
So the higher levels underneath the highway too. Then.
Yeah,
So
probably.
because they can walk just further north of the highway.
I don't know. We gotta look at it, but it's hard to look this time of year.
We'll have to give it a little bit.
Yeah, if we start seeing more thaw and more clearing out, we should probably keep an eye on that.
You've got a snowmobile.
No
You've got a
snow.
snowmobile. It's probably enough to drive out on there.
I don't think, no, not with that one.
So we have a brand new beacon though. Could we see on beacon anything?
Oh, I don't know, I haven't seen it.
No, that won't be till the spring.
Yeah.
Oh,
They do the flyover in May.
Oh, okay.
Chris just needs to be trained on a drone. We could go check it out.
You want me to come by with the snow and pick you up? We'll go out there.
No, because if I have a drone, I can be on the highway.
All right.
You can stand right on the highway and.
Yeah, but the snowmobile's already paid for.
Well, I don't have anything for Chris either, so. We'll
Okay.
just watch that, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. All right, sounds good, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, have a great day.
Yes,
you
Weather
too.
is your district.
Yeah, the weather gets a little nice, so I'll go for a hike.
There you go. There's a lot of snow and ice in there right now, so it's hard to tell.
And a lot of dirt. Man, there was a lot of black dirt that got blown around.
You know, it's just
Oh my
amazing. It
gosh.
seemed like there was more snow cover than that to have that much black dirt.
I think so too.
You know, the case for black dirt blowing is pretty dominant by Knutson's there
Oh,
on that curve. There's one stretch, 200 feet long, everything's black because he plowed up feet around his whole truck.
yeah. You know what? I saw that too. Yeah, it's another good reason to do no-till.
Can't play with the old tractors.
Yeah, the old boys like to go out there and have their plow days. It's, they're doing it with old board plows now.
So do we want to head back to open forum?
I suppose there's other things to open forum. Well, we should see, have you talked to, them over at Buffalo Center about meeting, were we thinking about the 24th of March?
24th of March, having a, no, if you get the Heritage Center, you mean?
Yeah.
I can't be there the 24th of March.
Okay, so what date is it have to work then?
I can do the 23rd, I just can't do the 24th.
And that's, 23rd is a Wednesday night,
And they were concerned about church night, right?
this is Wednesday.
How about the 22nd then?
I could do the 22nd.
Should be after all ball games here is done.
Yeah, it'll be pretty much over with by then. That should be, that period right there should be the lull between track and basketball, I would think.
We have something on the 17th of March, EMS at the Heritage Town Center. 17th?
I think we touched on it. I think that might be still state finals week or something. I don't know. I think
So that's a question mark. You said what day, Laura?
22nd maybe.
22nd?
If you guys want to do the 24th, I mean, I don't have to be there, but
It's not an official meeting. It's just a public forum that we host.
Just to get into the public, I guess, is what
Let's-
you're doing.
Let's
Yeah.
just leave it on the 24th then,
If we can get through the room.
if we can get the room. Are you gonna check on that, Bill?
And just for the purpose of the EMS. Keep it simple this time.
I think we can stay more focused.
No live stream. I would rather have people there than to sit at home. I don't know if you could really even hear all of the comments from the live stream anyway, so.
You're gonna have the PowerPoint thing,
I can have that. We'll have to adjust it a little
projected
bit,
or
but
whatever.
yeah, we'll have some of the same slides. Maybe on that one, timeline, I'll show, this is where we're at now.
I did have a question. Did you decide to drop the housing thing since you didn't have it at the, talk about it at the,
Well, that was more of a, depends on how everything else goes. I look at it as a priority myself, but it all depends on what our needs are on these other bigger projects, you know. Just my opinion, but it'd be nice to have some housing assistance for people that wanna, we have to look at, if we can help with sanitary sewer for out in the country, and also maybe have, that would be definitely under the clean water thing to help them, say, $5,000 towards their sanitary sewer costs.
I just remember when we did the housing thing the last time, that the people who can build a house are gonna build a house no matter what. And when people saw who got the money for the housing, there were wealthy people, and people were mad that people got that money.
But a lot of them gave up a house for somebody else to be able to afford too. That's how we explained it before, was, there's that trickle down, everybody gets to move up one, and like I said, it's not as priority as maybe some of these other things for right now. We've got several years to make these determinations.
You talking about using ARPA funds for that, maybe?
It's an allowable expense. One of the concerns I have is if somebody builds a house in a TIF district in a certain town that has doesn't have a end date on the TIF, we give them money, but yet we don't see the improvement in taxes. It's not like that in every town, but there is a case out there that shows it. And I think we've lost so many rural housing opportunities to farmland, and acreage has been taken down. I'd rather see more development on the rural level.
Just heard on the Heritage Center, they have it's a music festival it's either second or third Thursday of the month. So, I'm not really which there, I'm not sure.
Well,
I'll ask them.
third Thursday would be the 15th. No, it's 17th. And we're going to 24th. So as long as it's not the fourth Thursday,
Yeah.
just call it and ask it.
You just call here to look now.
Sure.
And what would the time be on that?
6.
6? And
By
have
then-
we,
By then, maybe if we still daylight out for another hour.
I'm liking that, light. So have we set the date for the other one? And
We should try to get the one for Lake Melset too.
Mhm.
And
And then so we can advertise it at least.
where would we do it in Lake Mel?
That's the hard part.
Because the last time we did one for the law enforcement center, we did it at Helgeson Center.
It's probably where it would have to be.
It's not huge.
Really, the only other place would be the school,
Yeah, the foyer at the school, maybe.
foyer.
Check on that.
If we could set a date that we were interested
Denny,
in, I could
this is
check
Bill
around.
Junsvold. Are you the one that can tell me when the Heritage Center is available or not? How about March 24th? I know it's a Thursday, I know they have the music once a month, but I can't remember which Thursday that is.
And NSV was available for those 2 nights that we set the.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll all be there for that too, so we just will double them out to get as many people representing that as possible. Yeah, yeah. What does it start at 7? Is that what we did?
6.
Or 6? Just about. Okay, if you log it in it'll be a public forum or whatever for what we're gonna do about our EMS situations. Yep. 6 till, well, the last one lasted till 8 or so,
Yeah.
so. Alrighty, when did you start working up there? Really?
What days are you looking at? April then?
Well, I'm glad you're supporting I'm live at the supervisor meeting here, so I can't really be funny about it.
Thursday the 14th is the day before Good Friday.
Yeah, bye.
Holy Thursday.
So
You want to go the week before?
hate to put it so far out. So maybe the 7th is a Thursday night.
Check on
April 7th.
April 7th. I don't know what else. I suppose there's Ole's, whether she'd let us use it. Is that bigger?
Ole is bigger than
Helgeson.
the Helgeson, but the foyer would at the school might be
Yeah, 4-year would probably.
ideal.
be like
We'll
that.
check there first, yep. 6 o'clock, Thursday, April 7th. Okay. Anything else?
Are you gonna send messages out to the MS group to let them know?
After we know where it's at? So we know this one, we know this next one. Do we want to put them both on the same message, is what you're saying? We know the one in Buffalo Center, we just don't know the one in
My
Lake
guess
Mills
is
yet.
they're always gonna have a conflict with some kind of training on a Thursday night.
Oh, you're asking that we should check with them if it even works.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they always do training on a Thursday night. They need to go to
Do we have a group email that we can just
Yeah.
put this
Yeah,
in? And
that's what we've been
Yeah.
doing.
let's put both of these, make sure they're okay, the Buffalo Center one and this one.
So the center one, so that they're mobile as far as I go, so they're gonna get papers and stuff, and just spread it, so
I don't think we advertised paper last time, did we?
We didn't put it in the paper,
it was just on the website.
website, Facebook,
Facebook.
city put it on Instagram.
Who did the Facebook one? I thought it was good. Was that
Daisy
you or-
did one and I did one. Daisy's was prettier because Lindsay was on medical, so Lindsay does my Facebook posts for me, so. She wasn't here to do a pretty one for me.
It was, hers was, Daisy's was pretty then, if that was hers.
Well, I don't know if Daisy did it or if Norma did it.
Norma probably did it.
So can we have Lindsay send an email? No, she does Facebook. We'll just send out whether that works for Buffalo.
Yeah, maybe before we advertise, we should probably send it out to the group.
Yeah.
These are our target dates.
Yeah, make sure that there's no big
Do you-
conflicts.
Do you have it up on your phone right now? Do you have your emails up? You could,
At the last meeting, we did discuss it, what the fourth.
It wasn't really announced at that meeting. Everybody was loud at that point.
mhm.
If we had it set up, I could have had it as a slide at the end.
I thought your comment that night was interesting on the,
Mandates.
yeah. The mandates for the,
Vendors.
no. The,
Emergency medical service people and the vaccines.
yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I guess Worth is meeting today. That's one of the reasons why they're seeing, there's gonna be a number of people that have taken the initiative that, under the constitutional amendment, I can't quote which one because my mind is flurry now with being on the air. It is in the Constitution that you don't have the right to, right to privacy. You do not have that right to invoke the medical procedure on someone, particularly if you're not a doctor. So what's happening here is that some of these individuals are saying no. I'm not going to come right out and say who they are, but I have interviewed these individuals, and each and every one of them has said to a T that they would rather step aside from the job than be vaccinated with something that, as we've seen with Queen Elizabeth and countless other individuals, you still get it. So what's the purpose if you're not protecting it? And I'm one of those individuals who got COVID-19 Delta from someone who was fully vaccinated. So even if you're fully vaccinating these individuals, according to some doctors that I met with on Saturday night and others, it's not working.
17,000 doctors out there on that page.
There are many doctors who are leaving the practice of working directly with the hospital simply because of the mandates that are going forward. And the medical field, unfortunately, is going to suffer beyond belief. And it may not recover. Somebody's got to wake up, smell the coffee, and realize you can't do this. And
My opinion, it's on purpose.
several people have quoted me or quoted to me that several of the mandates that were put forward were illegal. In fact, there was a woman whose name, again, I can't remember her name, but they called her the Minnesota Princess. And she owns a coffee shop up in Albert Lea. She stayed open when the second mandate came down from the governor, which may be construed as illegal. And she came here to Clear Lake, and they sent officers down to arrest her in Clear Lake, and then the governor paid for extradition for her to come up to Minnesota to be tried, all because she left her coffee shop open.
She was in jail over Christmas.
Right, and she also missed the birth of her 10th grandchild, I believe her husband's birthday, among other things, over a mandate that some are construing to be was not proper.
All to create the atmosphere of terror.
So that's why we're seeing a number of these individuals coming forward and saying, no, I won't do it. And that's why you may have a situation with EMTs that may be along that line, I'm not going to come out right and say it will, but it may. I don't know about Winnebago County because I haven't interviewed enough people to make that determination, but I do know in other counties that is a problem. So, pray that March 4th, somebody realizes that.
There's a lot of states suing over that. A lot of
And
18 states have jumped on it.
unfortunately, Guth's bill that's going through with the vaccine mandates does not include healthcare workers. However, you could consider a hospital to be a business because you are transacting business there. So there is a gray area.
What's March 4th?
That deadline.
There's a mandate put out by the CMC or CMS that says that all people must be vaccinated who enter into a hospital to conduct business. So if we were to have Eddie's Glass and Door come in and replace the glass, they have to supply the fact that the people working in on that glass to replace that window have been vaccinated.
And how did that affect your business? Because you go in for interviews?
We are a client. They are a client.
Oh, advertising client?
Mm-hmm. And as a result, we have to take that into consideration. I'm not saying that people are or not vaccinated. I'm just saying they have to take that into consideration. We have to supply a private medical record to an institution.
I don't want to shorten this, but I have to be a cheap cleaning at 10:50 because they wanted to move my appointment up today.
Well, I'll bet we can,
So I will make a motion to approve the county claim.
okay.
So
And a motion by Derby, seconded by Jensel to approve the county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passed. We're adjourned.
Julie has left.